Hello, Gestalt und Darstellung Digital students. Today we're going to focus on Lesson 8, which is setting our layout in Vectorworks for a plan, section, sectional elevation and isometric view. The first thing we're going to do is open a new blank Vectorworks document, like so. And you can simply, let me just maximize my screen. You can just simply delete the start page information and set your plan course to A3, which is 420 by 297 millimeters. Plan grows, make sure just this option is selected and click OK. And you'll see your A3 page appear. Next, we will import our plan, DWG, into this document. So come to Import, Data, Import, Import DXF, DWG at the top. And then come to the folder where you saved your data. Mine's in DWG, mine's in Make2D, DWG, and Plan. Schlesisches Tor, Plan, DWG, open. Okay, and then you'll see these import options, and this is very important. Mine is default set to the correct import options, but if not, then you'll have to select these same options. So manuell festlegen 1:1 is your Maßstab, and make sure that we are working in meters because our Rhino DWG document was set to meters. Make sure that everything on your import is the same and click OK. Okay, and now you'll see our plan in our drawing space. However, it's not very clear because it's retained the layer colors from Rhino. So to be able to see this plan as black line work, we first have to select everything, Command A, STRG A on a Windows keyboard. Come to our pen tool, select black, and there we go. That's made everything black. We're going to import each individual DWG now, one by one. So import the next DXF. Oh, sorry, just one thing to note. After your import, do check the scale of your objects. So select the line tool and just measure a line that you know the scale of. I know that this is 2 meters and it's telling me it's 2 meters, so it's correct. So just a thing to note after you import, always double check the scale. So go ahead and import the rest of your files. Data, import, DXF, DWG, and do this for section. It should save your preset from your last setting. So if not, then you'll have to go and select these same options again. We won't worry about color changing just yet. We'll import them all first. Okay, so that's all of our drawings imported. To select everything on your model space, come to Sägen, Ausrichten und Bearbeiten, and Command A, STRG A on Windows. Come to your pen tool and select black. That will make everything a black line work. Okay, so as you can see, things look a bit chaotic right now. We've got plans overlapping sections overlapping other drawings. That will change. We're going to create layouts for each one of these, so don't worry if things are overlapping. The first layout we're going to create, or viewport we're going to create, is our Schlesisches Tor plan. So when you're working on a layer, make sure that you have the layer selected. So this is layer, this is class. Make sure we're on the layer. The way that DWG functions on import in Vectorworks is it puts a new layer for each DWG import, which is very useful. So we've got all of our separate drawings on separate layers. So go ahead and click the layer that you want to have on and turn the other layers off. You can leave this layer on, that's okay. So now we just see our plan view drawing. Next, this is something that I think is very important. It's not 100% necessary, but creating a viewport rectangle layer is important, I think, for maintaining your viewport if you ever need to select a viewport again. So for that reason, I'm going to make a new layer in my layer option and call it viewport. Click OK. Options OK. And then I'm also going to make a class. So new, and call this viewport as well. I write layers in capitals and classes in small case. Okay, and also select that layer on and select our viewport layer on. Now we're going to draw a rectangle of our viewport. So think about centralizing the plats, think about centralizing Schlesisches Tor and your design to be the center of the page. So try and make a rectangle that's roughly about the proportion of an A3 page, and then move that window to centralize your drawing. So we roughly have this triangle shape pretty much in the center. Maybe we show a bit more train. To shift items in Vectorworks, it's simply Shift and the arrow tool. And so then go ahead and create your viewport. Control C, and then paste in place, which is bearbeiten, and einfügen am Ort, which is Alt Command V on a Mac keyboard, Alt Command V, and that's duplicated that rectangle, which will become our viewport. So now we actually have two rectangles on top of each other, which is what we want. Now, with that with one of those rectangles selected, then come to the Ansicht tool and select Ansicht Anlagen. And you're going to select, would you like to use this object as your crop? And you're going to say yes. And then you need to make a new layout layer. So new layout, Ebene. And it will come to this option here. We're going to have to give this layout a name. So I'm going to call this plan 1 to 200. I'm going to copy and paste that into the title below. Click OK. And then this option is going to come up telling me what output quality I would like, and I would like 300. And click OK. Now it's also asking for a name, so I'm going to copy and paste the name of our title from our layouts layer into these fields. Right, so very important to focus on this section. Make sure that you have scale 1 to 200 selected. 1 to 200. And the other options in this window are completely fine. You've got 2D plan, draft model, and so we can simply click OK. So now it will come to this window. It will look like your viewport is gone, but it's not. To zoom in on your paper space viewport, you come to ganze Zeit. And there you'll see your viewport and your A3 page, which you created earlier. This is important. We need to set the crop of the edge of our viewport directly to the edge of this grey outline. So we're going to do that by double-clicking on the viewport, coming to Begrenzung, Ansichtbereich, and then click OK. And making sure that your snapping tools are switched on, as they always should be. Move your crop to the grey line of the page. That's this inner dotted grey line here. And it should snap with relative ease to your page. Okay, and then click OK. And now that's adjusted your crop. You can see the original viewport rectangle, which was smaller. We can now go ahead and turn that viewport layer off. And we can do that in our info panel at the top here. I'll just extend this to show you. To turn layers on and off in your viewport, simply come to your info palette object, and then this option here, and you'll see which layers we want to have on, and we can simply turn that off. We can even do a preview, and we can see that it's turned that layer off. Good. Right, so we are about ready to export this as a PDF. But before we do that, we're just going to create a title block on the layout. A title block is an information block that shows the plan title and scale, etc., etc. So if you come to your tool palette at the side, this is if you don't have this palette appear, it's called Werkzeuggruppen, and you can also bring more palettes in your Fenster Paletten. And you can see, if I go back there, Fenster Paletten, I turned on, I have Werkzeuggruppen switched on. Make sure you have that on. Then you'll see these group of options appear here. We want to use the Plankopf tool. And then you'll see a dotted line appear with the title block on one corner and the outline of the crop surrounding it. We're going to have to change some options here. So to change options while you're using the Plankopf tool, simply come to this spanner and pencil tool in the top corner here. And we're going to make a Rahmenbereich of somehow, for some reason, I don't know why this is in Vectorworks, in your viewport layout space, it works in meters. So you have to think in meters whenever you make a dimension in your viewport. So we're going to make a Rahmenbereich, so an offset viewport of 0,0001. I think that's right. Yeah, 0,001, which will be 10 millimeters. And we are going to make this particular title block unten rechts, but you can make it unten links, and that will change where the title block appears on your page. You'll have all of these options here: oben rechts, oben Mitte, oben links. So you can select where you think is best to have your title block. I'm going to have mine unten rechts. Okay, so click OK. And it will ask, do you want to see cut marks? And we're going to say kein for that. And then click OK. So then you'll have this option. Actually, no, sorry. I'm going to select. What does that do? Well, anyway. Just going to go through these options to see what it actually changes. Well, okay, and then come to your page. This is the only time you can turn your snapping tools off to help snap that object to the page. Okay, so sorry, I've set our edge too small. I would like an offset of 10 millimeters, and it's only giving me a 1 millimeter offset. So that's what I was getting confused about. This is why it's tricky in Vectorworks at this stage. Why do they make this in meters? I do not know. Okay, right, and now you can see that the offset of the edge of our title block is 10 millimeters. And I'm going to turn off the cutting Schnittmarke kein. So there we go. It will snap to, if you come to the middle of the page, Blättmitte, it will snap to the middle with your Zegenfanger switched off. Click OK. And then it will give you a rotation option. Simply hold Shift to snap to orthographic and click again. And that will produce the title block. And we can, to turn off the title block tool, just simply come to hit X as a shortcut for this tool here. And there you go, it's created as a title block. To edit this title block is relatively simple. Just double click on the title block and it'll come to these options here. So we want to type in the name of our site. Which is Schlesisches Tor. Back to Vectorworks. Schlesisches Tor plan. The scale, we're going to say 1 to 200, of course. And the other options are completely up to you, which data fields you put. I think just the title and the scale is enough. Yeah, so once you've done that, click OK, and that'll update in your title block, the fields. Oh yeah, you might want to put the date and your name, address, etc. I'll leave that up to you to figure out. So we're ready to export as a PDF. And we're going to export the whole document from our viewport as a PDF. So to do that, simply come to Datei, export, PDF. Make sure 300 dpi is selected here. Hit OK. And then you're going to want to make a folder where you save all of your PDFs. I recommend making it in your Gestalten Darstellung Digital folder. in another folder called PDF, making sure that went into the right one, lesson 8. This is how I've structured my, my folders. PDF, today's date, which is the 11th of July. And the name. Checking on the spelling of this. Schlesius' Tor, plan, and then my initials at the end. Create. And then, yeah, we want to save actually the same title as we've created here. So I'm going to be lazy and just copy and paste the title of that folder. Into my save as name, making sure that it is going into the right folder. Yes, and save. And it should create you a PDF of your viewport. Give it some time. And it has, yes. If you have a trial version, it'll say Vectorworks educational version on the layout. That's okay, that's fine. Your students, you can't afford to buy the software, so you're going to have this. Another option that would be nice in your viewport layout would be if you white out this boundary, and I think there was an option to do that when creating the title block. Have a look for it, see if you can find it. That would be a nice detail. Also, you could move this title block over to the left-hand side. Maybe there it's more out the way. So have a think about composition of your title block and key elements such as that. For the hand-in, this is the basic requirement for all of your drawings to create a, for all of your macro scale 1 to 200 Schlesius Tor drawings, to create line work as PDF with title block. I will actually post a video on how you can embellish this in creating different line weights in Illustrator, creating some fills for color in Illustrator, and then exporting that as a Photoshop file to add textures such as trees and shadows, but very basic textures. That's not a full requirement of the course. However, if you want to experiment with photoshopping and embellish your plan, then you can feel free to go ahead and do that. I will post the video for the following. So that's how you make a viewport layout in Vectorworks. Just follow the same process that we've just done now for all 3 of your drawings, all 3 left of your drawings, so you'll have 4 in total of your Schlesius Tor drawings. And also you want to lay out your one-to-one models that you made, drawings that you made in the beginning of this. That'll be in millimeters, of course, and you want to lay out that onto an A3 page as well. Okay, that's this lesson. I hope you can follow okay. If you have questions, feel free to email me, and yeah, look forward to seeing your work next week. Good luck. See you next time.